Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Monday, September 19, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Houston Astros vs Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays didn't play well on their road trio, but they have done a great job at home, where they have won 8 of their last 10 games. They are playing very well offensively, scoring 18 runs in their last 3 games. Even though Garcia has done a good job on the mound for Houston, he struggled in recent starts, giving up at least 3 runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. He gave up 12 runs in his last 4 road starts and will have a hard time slowing down the Rays in this game. The Astros are also playing well, and they've been rolling offensively, scoring at least 5 runs in 6 of their last 7 games. However, they will struggle offensively in this game because Rasmussen has done a good job on the mound, giving up 8 runs in his last 5 starts. He didn't give up a run in his lone start against the Astros and will keep their offense in check, so go with Tampa Bay to cover the money line. Rasmussen has pitched beautifully for the Rays in his last 5 games as he has an ERA of 2.67. For Houston, they have the second lowest ERA in all of the majors. They will start with Garcia, who has an ERA of 4.04 this season, but the dominant bullpen will take over and shut the game down for Houston. The under is 3-0-1 in Houston's last 4 Monday games. For Tampa, the under is 5-0 in their last 5 Monday games. Our total pick is under 7 runs. Detroit Tigers vs Baltimore Orioles. Detroit has been struggling to compete throughout the season, and nothing has changed of late. The Tigers went on a 3-game winning streak last weekend before losing 6 of their next 7 games. They were swept by Houston earlier last week and then dropped 2 out of 3 against the White Sox over the weekend. Detroit is now heading on a 6-game road trip that includes a stop in Chicago this coming weekend. The Tigers have already been eliminated from playoff contention and are 2.5 games ahead of Oakland for the worst record in the American League. Baltimore was one of the hottest teams in the majors during the few weeks after the All-Star break, but the Orioles have been in a cold stretch this month. They have lost 8 of their last 13 games, including 2 out of 3 at Toronto over the weekend. Baltimore wrapped up a 5-game road trip with that series and is now returning home for a 6-game stand. The Orioles were once occupying one of the American League wild card spots, but they are now 4 games back of Seattle for the final playoff spot. They do not have any remaining games with Seattle, so it will be difficult for them to gain ground. Baltimore has a massive motivational edge in this game, so I am willing to overlook some of its recent issues with form. The Orioles are still alive in the playoff race, but they are in a must-win position on Monday. They also have a big advantage in the pitching matchup, as Wells has been a solid starting option this season. He only allowed 2 hits in his last start, while Alexander is the last starter in Detroit's rotation. Baltimore has won 8 of its last 10 home games against a left-handed starter, and the Orioles have won 4 of their last 5 games against a team with a winning percentage below our team pick is Baltimore minus 1.5 runs. Tyler Alexander has been struggling throughout the season, according to his baseball saving page, as he is in the 1st percentile in whiff percentage. He's been struggling to get strike 3, as he has a 12.3 strikeout percentage this season. Alexander throws 5 different pitches, with each pitch thrown at least 12.1% of the time. He faced the Orioles once last season and did not factor into the decision as he threw 4 innings and allowed 2 runs on 4 hits with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Tyler Wells has been doing decently well this season when diving into the baseball saving page, as he is in the 76th percentile in walk percentage. Hitters have a solid swing as he has a 38.8 hard hit percentage so far. He has a 4-pitch mix with his heater thrown 41.6% of the time. Wells faced off against the Tigers back on May 15th and lost as he threw 4 innings and gave up 3 runs on 8 hits with no walks and a pair of strikeouts. These teams do not have deep offensive teams, so they need to figure things out in that department. Neither team has been scoring too well in their previous 13 games, as the Tigers are averaging 3.38 runs per game, while the Orioles are scoring 3.15 runs per game as well. Both teams have been dominating with their bullpen over the course of the season, as Detroit is 9th in the majors with a 3.47 reliever ERA, while Baltimore has a 3.24 bullpen ERA, which is 6th in the sport. The under is 19-6-1 in their last 26 games against one another, so go with the under in this game as well. Washington Nationals vs Atlanta Braves. Washington might have entered the All-Star break with a terrible record and no motivation to play well in the second half of the season after trading star slugger Juan Soto, but the Nationals have not quite tanked completely. They won 6 games in an 8-game stretch from the end of August to the beginning of September, and they are now coming off a series win over Miami, winning 2 out of 3. Washington wrapped up a 5-game homestand and will be on the road for its next 6 games. The Nationals are 1.5 games worse than Oakland, giving them the worst record in the majors. Atlanta has no margin for error in the NL East race, so it cannot afford to let up after sweeping Philadelphia over the weekend. The Braves had taken the lead against New York in the division last week, but they then lost 4 games in a 5-game stretch. They were able to respond with the sweep against the Phillies, and they will now wrap up their 6-game homestand with this series. Atlanta is 1 game behind the Mets in the standings heading into Monday's slate. DraftKings has New York at -240 and Atlanta at +190 to win the division. The Braves are a lock to make the playoffs as a wild card team if they do not win the NL East. They have been a strong offensive team this season, ranked 9th in the MLB with an average of .253. Shortstop Dansby Swanson leads the way with 161 hits, while third baseman Austin Riley has 156 hits, including 36 home runs. They are facing a Washington pitching staff that is dead last in the majors with an ERA of 5.03. Right-handed pitcher Kyle Wright is going to start for Atlanta on Monday. He allowed 1 run on 3 hits and 3 walks with 4 strikeouts in 5.1 innings against San Francisco last week. Wright has an MLB leading 18 wins this season, and he has posted a 3.18 ERA. This is the type of game where the Braves are backable at -1.5 up to -200 or so, as they are going to win by multiple runs at least 80% of the time in this spot. Wright has been a revelation for Atlanta in 2022, recording the most wins of any starting pitcher in baseball. He has an outstanding offense backing him up, of course, but he has also done his job very well. Washington has not done much of anything well this season, and the Nationals do not have a strong starting arm on the bump. I am happy to back Atlanta to win by multiple runs at -150, especially against a team that it has won 9 of its last 10 games against. Our total pick is Braves -1.5 runs. At the plate, Washington has also struggled all season. The Nationals are a respectable 11th in team batting average with .251, but dropped to 15th in on-base percentage, 21st in slugging percentage at .383 and 25th in runs, scored with 560. Lane Thomas has 16 home runs to lead Washington, and Nelson Cruz is a team-best 64 RBI. Cruz is second in home runs with just 10. Thomas is second in RBI with 50. Washington has 227 doubles, 20 triples and 126 home runs in 145 games. Washington's front office looked to the future when trading Juan Soto and Josh Bell, amongst others, at the trade deadline. The Los Angeles Dodgers may have baseball's best record and have won 10 more games than Atlanta this season, but the Braves are tough on the mound and at the plate just as the Dodgers are. Atlanta is 6th in team ERA at 3.49 and 8th in WHIP at 1.19. The Braves have 66 quality starts, which is 7th best, and are 4th in batting average allowed at .226. Monday's starter, Kyle Wright, is leading Atlanta in wins with 18, while Spencer Strider is the leader in strikeouts with 192. The Braves remain 1 game back of the Mets, but tied in the loss column heading into the final 2 weeks of the season. The total has finished under in 10 of Washington's last 13 when playing against a team with a right-handed starter. The total has finished under in 4 of Atlanta's last 5 overall. Atlanta starter Kyle Wright has a respectable 3.18 ERA, and the right-hander has allowed 2 earned runs or less in 5 of the last 6 starts. The total has finished under in 2 of Wright's last 3 starts. Our total pick is under 8.5 runs.